Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing something very exciting and new. It's something called acrylic fluid art. I don't know if you guys have heard of that before. It's pretty popular, I think. And I've seen a bunch of videos on acrylic fluid art, and I think it looks really cool, so I'm going to be trying this out. So first of all, I laid out some cardboard on my desk to prevent any paint drips from getting on it. I'm going to be linking all of the supplies that I used down below in the description, and I'm also going to be linking the tutorials that I followed. The canvas that I'm going to be using today is from a Daiso. If you don't know what Daiso is, first of all, how? But it's basically a Japanese 100 yen shop. It's kind of like a dollar store. Anyways, my first step was to pick out all the colors that I was using. I'm using acrylic paints from either Dollar Tree or Michael's. I was going for kind of a sea vibe, so I used a lot of colors like blue, purples, and greens. I then took out a few plastic cups. I also got these from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to be mixing my paints in here. So I started squeezing my colors into the cups, and since this was my first time, I didn't really know how much paint I would need, so I kind of just guessed, and I just squirted a bit in there. And from the videos that I've seen, I've learned that you have to mix this fancy thing into the paint in order to make it a bit more liquidy and pourable. And since I didn't really have whatever it's called, I decided to make my own using the knowledge that I found off of YouTube. So the alternative solution that I found was basically you take an empty plastic bottle and you fill it up with water. Then I mixed in around 5 pumps of dish soap. That's why it's yellow, alright? I'm having flashbacks to that one time I drank apple juice. You all who made fun, okay? You're just dirty-minded and wrong and gross. Anyways, I'm gonna be using chopsticks to mix because I don't really have any popsicle sticks. So I'm gonna be adding this water soap solution in slowly. I'm gonna be doing it little by little until I feel the consistency is right. By the way, I'm only using 2 chopsticks during this entire thing. I didn't really want to waste anything, so I kind of just cleaned them off every single time I was done mixing a color. And be careful not to add too much water because I've done that more than once, and I always have to add more paint in to make it thicker. And one problem that I had while I was mixing in the solution with the green is the fact that it's very foamy, obviously because of the dish soap. And because all of the foam was at the top, at one point I wasn't even pouring in any water. I was literally just mixing bubbles with paint. And so that created a lot of air gaps in the paint, and it kind of changed the consistency a bit, but in the end everything pretty much worked out. And to my paints, the blue ones, they actually look very similar to each other. I kind of got mixed up with them. When I was adding more paint to one of the blue colors, I accidentally used the wrong one, but you can't really tell the difference, so I guess everything worked out. It's fine. If you ever try doing acrylic fluid art for yourself, I really recommend getting gold paint. It's so pretty and it just makes everything look so much better. It can literally upgrade trash into prettier, more embellished trash, you know? And I don't mean to imply that my art is trash. I actually think that it turned out pretty good this time, if I do say so myself. Anyways, I don't know if you could tell before, but I had gloves prepared, they're right there in that corner. I was gonna wear them, but I kind of forgot, even though they were right in front of me. So I got a lot of paint on my hands, but that went off pretty easily, so I'm not that upset. That day, I was just a bundle of bad decisions and regret. I chose to mix all the paint on top of the canvas, not exactly the smartest choice. Anyways, it took me a very long time, but at this point, I was pretty much done mixing everything. There are lots of different techniques in fluid art, you can use beads and stuff, or you can use a toilet scrubber or something, and I've also seen a video with a broom. But today, since I'm still new to this, I'm gonna be using the flip cup method. It kinda says it all, the name. So basically how I did this was I took out 2 new plastic cups. First, I poured in my color, which was white, and then I poured in my second color in the middle, which was blue. And you can like go in any order that you want, and basically you just keep pouring in your colors into the middle. It's pretty simple. And you keep pouring in your different colors until both cups are filled to around halfway. And while I was pouring in these colors, I kind of realized that some of my paints were like a bit too dry and like clumpy, so I couldn't pour them as well. So I kind of like tweaked some of the paints and I just like added more solution. And you can also obviously control how much paint of some of the colors you put in. For example, my more dominant colors are the blues, so I put more of those and less of others. For some colors like white, I would run out before I was done with everything, so I kind of had to mix in new batches. And when I was like pouring in all the different paints, this kind of reminded me of that thing, I forget what it's called, I think hydro dipping or something. It's like when you have like a bucket of water and you like pour a bunch of like nail polish in, I think, and then you can like dip items in there and like color it. Towards the end, it was getting pretty hard to get the paint out of the cup because everything was like sticking to the bottom and it wasn't really pouring. It's kind of like when you have like brownie batter and you're trying to get everything out, but it's not, so you have to like use a chopstick or something. I tried tapping at the bottom of the cups to try and get the paint out. I'm not sure if it helped though, but it kind of sounds cool, so. Anyways, it took like a pretty long time for me to finally reach halfway for the cup. And when I was done, I just cleared everything off of my desk. It was kind of difficult since I didn't really have any room anywhere. But anyways, when I was done with that, I just placed the cups both in the corners of the canvas. And then I just took it and I flipped it over. It was like pretty nerve-wracking and like stressful. Anyways, I tapped at the bottom of the cups to try and let the paint flow down, and then I lifted them up. And then the paint started like pouring out, and it honestly looked like very pretty, just like this. Anyways, at the beginning I was going to cover the entire canvas space with this paint, so I basically lifted up the canvas and I just tilted it. This way the paint would like flow down and cover all the sides. Waiting for the paint to pour down was honestly taking like a very long time, and my arms were literally starting to hurt. So to speed things along, I basically just took that leftover paint in that cup and I poured it over the blank space. Then I took my finger and I kind of just like dabbed at it to make it blend in a little bit more. And at that point, I could have just covered the canvas with paint, but I was feeling kind of artsy or whatever. What I did was I let the paint down, but not completely, and I left one corner like full of white space, and I also used my finger and I kind of just like put some messy paint there to make it look, I don't know, more abstract. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching to the end. I had a lot of fun with this, and maybe I could do like a part 2 where I do like a different technique. I don't know, like I could play with beads and stuff. Like and subscribe if you want to see more, and see you guys next time.